generally in that time, both before the early 70s and after this creation of the modern theory that uses, of elementary particles that uses gauge, non-abelian gauge theories, you left the applications to elementary particles in general to others. You concentrate, as we'll talk about, in the mathematical structure. But it indicates, well, it's a personal choice. Maybe you'll comment on why you didn't get involved so much in what we now sometimes describe as model building.
I think that's a very complicated question because that involves psychology. You know that every research worker has certain likes, certain dislikes. When Weinberg was doing the 1967 paper, what was my attitude to it? In retrospect, I should have rushed and explore whether the idea is correct and whether it should be modified or so on and so forth. I didn't do it. And not only that, in some sense I was opposed to it. I was opposed to it partly for some philosophical reasons, which in fact I had detailed in my selected papers. But also, here it reflects on something which I think the general public may not sufficiently appreciate. Because every research worker has a certain style. And if somebody else proposes a style that is not exactly along his lines, there's a natural resistance to it. The resistance, in retrospect, may be totally irrational, but it's psychologically very natural. So part of the reason that I did not further explore that symmetry breaking, part of it was based on some general philosophical ideas, part of it was the psychological element. Actually, there's a third, because at that time I was heavily engaged in many-body problems, statistical mechanics. I was making big headways in it. So therefore, I did not spare time back into this area. But I think that young research workers should be aware of the fact that your emotional reaction to what you like and what you do not like is a fact of life. You should be aware of it. I would not say that you should abandon that, because if you have some resistance to something, that may be in fact the right thing to resist. It's in the frontiers. This is a little bit like fashion, women's fashion. You may have a new idea about fashion, which may or may not blossom. And you have to realize that both you must insist on your own ideas, and yet you have to realize that your direction may not be the right one. This is a complicated process.
It was a metaphor I wasn't anticipating.